Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, I'm really not up to it today. I don't know what's going on, but I can do a reading. I'm just not feeling well, bit of a scratchy throat, but off we go, plugging through. There's always something to do. All right, so today we are going to talk about Mariah Carey. And she recently had an interview because she's going to be performing at Sandringham. And in the interview, they've asked her, have you met any royals? And she said, Fergie. And I thought she was cool. Nothing about Meghan. And she was a guest on Meghan's podcast. And they had that little diva conversation there. So how does Meghan feel that, number one, she wasn't mentioned or wasn't thought of as a royal? And number two, is there like are they arguing, or is there a snub since that podcast went on? What's going on? So what's going on in Meghan's mind when Mariah Carey didn't even mention her? Right? Have you met any royal? First of all, Mariah Carey's performing at Sandringham, and then she also doesn't consider. Is it because she doesn't consider Meghan a royal, which is true? What's going on? Let's ask the cards. What's the energy around that? What's the energy around Mariah Carey? Knight of Cups. What's the energy around Mariah Carey snubbing Meghan Markle and not mentioning her, which is, have you met any royals? Another thing that occurred to me is there was a lot of rumors that it was actually Meghan's production team that did the interview, and then Meghan just read it afterwards. So let's find that out. We have to remember Mariah was on the podcast on Spotify where they were called effing grifters. 8 of Cups in reverse. Kind of stuck energy. Something's missing and not interested in even looking for it. 3 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands. Was this an attack? Sometimes 8 of Wands can be my attack because sometimes it can be bombs, like dropping bombshells. 5 of Swords. I don't think there's a battle here at all. Wheel of Fortune. I don't think there's a battle here at all. I think we've got 2 8s here with a 3. I think that I'm going to say it wasn't done on purpose, because the 5 of Swords is in reverse, so everyone's put down their swords. There's no fight. There's no battle here. It's just really unfortunate that she forgot about Meghan. I think she'd rather forget about Meghan. Yeah, she's moved on from that. I think personally, it was such a minute part of her life. She kind of forgot about it. 4 of Wands. Perhaps she met Fergie at a party, right? At a more fun situation, not a work situation. She would have considered that a work situation, being interviewed on a podcast. She was probably got some kind of pay or favor for it. 6 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it looks terrible on Meghan. Absolutely looks terrible on Meghan. The Tower. The Lovers in reverse. Oh, that's it. Meghan's never going to be her friend again. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, is she more Harry's friend than Meghan's? But she didn't mention Harry either. Perhaps she was told not to mention Harry and Meghan, right? Perhaps she was, maybe that's part of, right, whenever you know, the performer gives their rules and the place that they're performing also has their rules. And perhaps some of the rules are you're not allowed to mention Harry and Meghan. This is actually devastating for Meghan. She did not expect this to happen. Being left out. 2 of Swords. I'm going to say Six of Pentacles here. I'm going to say that Mariah is going with who's paying her for this venue, which is Sandringham, which is you know, the crown, the royal family. I mean, that's their, so you can't even say it's the crown. Sandringham is privately owned. So whatever they're having there, she's being paid. And I think part of the paying is she's not allowed to say anything. She's not allowed to mention Harry and Meghan. Perhaps they are aware that she was on the podcast. Of course they would have been aware. Yeah, I'm going to say this was Camilla's rule. Regrets, the hangman. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, look at Camilla and the king are here. I think that was one of their rules. She is not allowed to mention their name. I bet it's not even in a like a public interview, because the interview was about her performing at Sandringham, and I think it's part of the king and queen's rules here. And she's figures they're the ones who are paying me, so I'm going to follow their rules. She is stuck by the agreement that they have, the hangman here. I think that's all it is that, and Harry would know this. That's why Harry's upright. We don't see Meghan on here anywhere. I think this is definitely, Harry knows exactly what's going on. Of course he does. He's royal. He knows, like he would know. Why didn't she mention that? Is because it's in the contract. The king and queen do not want their name mentioned. I think that's all it is. That's all it is. Plus, like I said, I think it was such a minute part of her life. She may have said, yeah, no problem. I don't mind not mentioning it. And perhaps when they're saying, asking her, have you met? I think she actually met Fergie at like a function, like face to face, not in a podcast type of situation where you don't even have to be in the same country, right? I think that's what happened. This was a real slap down to Meghan, and I think it was directed from on high. All right, thank you very much for watching. I've got some other good ones for you coming right up, so on to the next one. Fare thee well.